Ernie Francis Jr. has been the class of the field in Trans Am so far in 2017. The two-time champion Amy Ruman is certain she can reverse her fortunes at her home track.
Of course I can win here this weekend. If everything goes right, we'll win this race.
Add to the mix Vinny Allegretta from New York. He's had the hot hand lately, and Dave Pintarek, the veteran, who's looking for his first win of the year. Trans Am, America's road racing series, is next from Mid-Ohio. Welcome to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We're in Lexington, Ohio for coverage of Trans Am presented by Pirelli, America's road racing series. Today, it's the FirstEnergy 100. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Mid-Ohio. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell joins me for the call here in a few moments. Ashley Van Dyke has our coverage today on Pit Road. The midsummer break is over for Trans Am. Second half of the championship season. Titles on the line in Trans Am, plus TA3 and TA4. We've got three prime contenders who get to start up front today because qualifying was rained out. But we've got a wild card entry who has to start at the back of the pack. He should be a driver to watch. Let's get more. Here's Ashley.
Martin Raginger starting in the back, but been fastest on top of the charts all weekend. What is your race strategy, and what have you experienced so far this weekend in your TA class debut?
Well, first I have to say thanks to my team, Burton Racing and Gosha and Excelta, our sponsors, to be here. The free practices were just amazing, and these cars are so cool to drive. But I was a little bit disappointed that on this little rain we had that we didn't qualify, so I have to start last because I have no points. But that's how it is, and I try to do the best out of it.
Thanks, Martin. Starting 14th on your TA field today.
Martin Raginger will be one of the drivers to watch. Michael McDowell and Claudio Burton's machine renumbered 50, but a host of fast cars up front today.
And they're all chasing Ernie Francis Jr., who's been so dominant all year long. But Martin is a factory Porsche driver, ex-driver, very, very fast. Lots of sports cars, lots of wind, open wheel as well. Ernie Francis Jr. might have a challenger today.
Ernie Francis Jr., Vinny Allegretta, Amy Ruman will start in the top three spots. We'll have onboard looks from several competitors today as well, including the Durhog Motorsports 59, a former champion, Simon Gregg, who will start toward the front of the field today. We'll take rides as well with Tommy Dreese, whose suspension has been lifted. He's back in the show.
Tommy Dreese put on a show for us here last year. Lots of excitement, had some run-ins. Hopefully he'll have a clean, smooth day.
We'll be on board as well with that brand new 50 car, Martin Raginger, brand new Camaro bodywork, the new ZL1, Kerry Hits Advanced Composites Company creating this. The bodywork also on Jim McAleese's 03 car. Got that brand new Dodge Challenger too from Jeff Hinkle's team.
There's really not been a Challenger in TA since 1972-73. I'm a big Mopar guy as far as race cars. I've really only ever owned and raced Mopar cars on the track. So we thought it was time to update the body and get a whole new car out there. We've also developed a new chassis to go along with it. So everything you see about the car is all brand new, one of a kind, latest and greatest.
We worked really hard to have all the cars look good. We worked hard to get aero parity, and I'm proud to say that we have all four bodies within 24 pounds of downforce and 6 horsepower of drag, and we wanted to make them look good. We were told we want to have them look different than the TA2 Camaros. I'm really excited about it. The cars have gone out, they look great.
This car in particular looks terrific. The Ghost Share Camaro, it's got a very special paint color this week.
Well, that was a relationship with David Fisher from Exalta. It's the color of the year, so Gallant Gray is Exalta's color of the year. We're very proud to show it off, and it's just a beautiful color.
The new Camaro ZL1 bodywork, Michael McDowell, your Cup Series car with NASCAR will wear that bodywork next year.
Really excited. You have a lot of great Camaro fans out there. The body's aggressive. Hopefully it'll add some downforce as well. So a lot of great things happen with Chevrolet.
Well, in TA4, one of the key Chevrolet campaigners, Tadej Pirelli in the 39. We'll look forward to seeing him do battle here in just a couple of moments. This Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Michael McDowell, a place you're pretty familiar with.
One of my favorite courses that we go to. It is great, it's tight, it's technical. There's a lot that a driver has to do and has to take in, But more importantly, Mid-Ohio has the greatest fans. You'll see them lined up. They love sports car racing. They love Trans Am. Hopefully they'll put on a great show for them.
Terrific field of Trans Am, TA3, TA4 entries here today for our FirstEnergy 100. Your starting lineup top of your screen. Tommy Dreese in Tony Ave's 8 car back in the show here this weekend, starting at the rear. Up front, it's Ernie Francis in the 98, Vinny Allegretta in the 41, Simon Gregg back there with Amy Ruben in row 2, and we are underway at Mid-Ohio. Field heading down through the kink on the backstretch. Ernie Francis jumps out to the lead. Ruben tucks in right behind. Jeff Hinkle on the outside. Tommy Dreese making a big move early. He's up to 6th. The TA3 field coming down the hill as well. 5 very fast race cars, including those fall line Porsches. There's Randy Kinsland in the Chevrolet, the 11 car. And the TA4 machines taking the green with Napierowski. Oh, and Hinkle off already in the 9 car. Jeff Hinkle in that brand new Weaver Racing Products entry, spinning off into the grass. Ernie Francis, your leader, as we complete lap number 1.
Amy Ruben putting the pressure going into turn 1 there. We heard her earlier in the show. She says, if nothing happens, we can win this race, and she desperately needs a good run. Had some bad luck this season, hasn't been able to put that momentum back together, but looks like she's strong early in the go here.
Battling for 4th, the 59 of Gregg, the 8 of Dreese through the keyhole corner and heading back to the backstretch here. Now this is where these cars take the green flag. All the other flagging will be done from the pit road straightaway as usual. Dreese to the outside, trying to get a run on Simon Gregg.
Side by side in the brake zone, hard to make that pass on the outside. If you look to the left right there, you see China Beach, and that's why you gotta be careful there.
Hinkle finally gets the 9 car pointed in the right direction and then spins it on the asphalt here.
Had a lot of rain over the weekend. That grass very wet, hard to get back on the racing surface.
Dreese in the 8 meantime, still trying to find a way around Simon Gregg for 4th. Up front, it's Ernie Francis Jr., multiple winner this year, championship leader by a good margin over Ruben in the 23, Allegretta in the 41. Amy Ruben telling us before the start, this is going to be her week. She thinks they've got the car dialed in. They brought it here for a brief test earlier. She says, I'm starting to figure out these Pirelli radials. I think I've got something for him today. We'll see what happens.
It looks like she does. Great speed. But Ernie Francis has been very good at managing these races. He doesn't go too hard in the beginning, saves his tires, and when we get to the middle, the later half of the race, he really turns it up.
Dreese again challenging Simon Gregg for 4th on the outside. Tommy's kids' names on the 8 car, Lacey, Elin, and Jagger, supporting his family here this weekend at Mid-Ohio, but Simon Gregg holding on to 4th. Meantime, trouble for the 2 car in TA4. This is Stephen Davidson in the Aston Martin. Looks like the right front's down on that machine. Battling here at TA3, the 2 fall line entries. Mark Bowden leading in the 46, Tim Kesman in the 4 car right behind him.
These guys always look like they're having a great battle. It looks like a ton of fun. They got similar cars, obviously coming out of the same fall line shop, but they always do is this back and forth, back and forth. Mark Bowden, obviously the veteran here, but they put on a great battle.
And Tim Kesman has really improved as a driver in the last year and a half, 2 years. He's had some great runs, has put a lot of pressure, and has beaten Bowden several times. Meantime, the 9 car of Hinkle off early and on pit road early today as well. The TA4 battle, the TA3 battle continuing to rage here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course as the 2 fall line Porsches continue to dominate. Kesman with a big wiggle coming down the hill.
A tough place to have a moment like that. You're going up over the hurry downs, the S's, cars light going over the jump there. The backing comes around in those Porsches. Hard to control that momentum.
Up front meantime, overall, and from the TA lead, Ernie Francis just a car length ahead of Amy Ruben, who really seems to have this place figured out.
Great on board there. You can hear Amy working the throttle as she comes over the crest. Really tough at Mid-Ohio. You have a lot of elevations, but you have areas where the car gets very light. The wheels want to come off the ground. You can spin the tires very easily here.
When we spoke to Amy before the start, she said, you know, this is the second half of the season. Yeah, I had a bad first half of the year. We're not close in the points right now, but I've got a chance. If we can put a couple of wins on the board, put some pressure on Ernie Francis, I think I can give him something to ponder as we get to the late stages of this season. Ernie Francis with a dominant first half, his first year in Trans Am in that Mark Messon chassis. Meantime, in TA4, Brian Kleeman is leading in the DWW Motorsports Ford, the 07 car. Kleeman unchallenged at the moment in that category.
And this is such a great class, an introduction into professional racing. This is the starting point.
Here comes Nate Burowski, meantime, in that Tremec Chevrolet, the 39 car, giving chase to Kleeman. He's got a brand new Camaro, a new model ZL1 bodied car, ready to go just about, not quite ready for Mid-Ohio. We hope to see the car at Road America in a couple of weeks. Some of the Trans Am field whistling down the backstretch. TA3 leaders, meantime, Bowden and his teammate Kesman in the two fall line Porsches. The championship battle in TA3 shaping up to be a great one as we start the second half of the season. Right now, if the checkered flag fell, Bowden would have a 21-point lead. Kinsland and Connor Flynn. Remember, Kinsland led the points early in the season. They'd be 25 back.
Early in there, you saw Kinsman lead the championship, but we still are only halfway through this championship. A lot can happen. You have to score every point possible, no mistakes.
Ernie Francis Jr. continuing to build his championship run. Amy Rubin hoping to put a stop to it here today at her home track at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Meantime, a little further back, 5th, 6th, and 7th in place. Simon Gregg has 5th. David Pintarek in the Cadillac. And how about Martin Raginger from the back of the field in that 50 car up to 7th?
Very fast in the practice sessions. Didn't get qualifying in, but he's making his way towards the front, putting a lot of pressure on these guys.
Claudio Burton, the team owner of the GoShare Chevrolet, stepping out of the race car. Pintarek swinging to the outside to try to get around Gregg for 5th spot. Raginger watching things. Simon Gregg a little bit offline. Raginger takes a look to the outside, now swings it back the other way. How hard is it, Michael, to transition from a mid-engine Porsche, the kind of car Raginger has driven much of his career, to these front-engine, big horsepower Trans Am machines?
It's a huge transition, but he's doing a great job. He's a professional race car driver, won a lot of big races, so he's going to transition well, but it takes some time, especially at Mid-Ohio, where you have the elevations and you have all this horsepower that he's probably not used to.
So Pintarek has gotten around Simon Gregg. You're on board with Simon here in Jim Durhag Chevrolet. Here's Raginger taking a different line. Trouble for Randy Kinsland. The Kinsland Racing Chevrolet out of Maryland. Tough break indeed. Kinsland off to the side, and that brings out a full course yellow. He is not in a safe area, so a safety car will come out on the speedway here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Ernie Francis Jr. is your leader in the Bonacani Fun Ford. We'll be back.
The FirstEnergy Trans Am 100 on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by FirstEnergy, the official energy of Trans Am racing at Mid-Ohio. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by Pirelli, power is nothing without control.
Back at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the FirstEnergy 100. Trans Am plus TA3 and TA4 in action. Fans enjoying the action as always at Mid-Ohio. Let's find out what happened to Jeff Hinkle.
Talking to Poncho Weaver, crew chief of Jeff Hinkle, we just saw that Dodge come down on pit lane shortly after the green. What'd he say?
Well, he had a spin. He's having some brake issues, and we're really not sure exactly what's wrong with the car. So we looked it over. It looks plenty safe. There's nothing binding up. So we told him just go out and feel the car, try to stay out of the traffic lines, and let's just see what we can do. It's a new car. We're still developing it, and he's still getting used to it as well, so it's a learning curve.
Great to see that beautiful Dodge back out there on the track.
It is nice to have the Dodge out.
Poncho Weaver, veteran car builder, developing that 9 car with Jeff Hinkle's help. See if they can make that car competitive before the end of the season. Two-time defending series champ Amy Rubin hoping to get on track here in Mid-Ohio. I sat down with her before the start to assess her season so far.
I think this year we just made quite a bit of changes to the car. One, we rebodied it to the C7 Corvette body style. And two, with the Pirelli tires, I think everything just changed for us. We had the C6 working really well. We just had our combinations set up. So this year we've been struggling on setup a little bit, but we've also faced mechanical issues, contact issues, things that wish could have been avoided, but that weren't. It's where I grew up running autocrossing throughout the years. We've run plenty of nationals here over time, plenty of Trans Am races. It's one we haven't won at yet. I've led a lot of laps here the past couple years, and fell short, but hopefully, you know, with the hometown crowd, we'll win, and everybody's rooting for us, so it's pretty fun and special to be here. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. To have your family around and support you all the time makes it even more amazing and fun for everybody. Hopefully, we'll bring home a winner.
Bob and Barb Ruman and Amy and her sister Nikki have been at the top of the charts in Trans Am for a very long time. Great family, and certainly hoping that they can find success here in Mid-Ohio this weekend. Green flag back in the air. Ernie Francis Jr. leads him to the stripe. Amy Ruman runs second in the McNichols 23. Vinny Allegretta third in that 41 car, the Sights and Sounds Chevrolet.
This is a great chance for Amy on this restart. While she's close, try to make an aggressive move, maybe rattle Ernie Francis' cage a little bit as you see him swing wide in the brake zone.
Opened the door there a little bit, but Amy not close enough to pounce. Now, is that a case of him being offline going in, or just wanting to try to find a different way to get around the keyhole?
Well, I think that Ernie Francis is doing a great job. He does wonderful on the restarts. He's not pressured too much. There, I think he just had some cold brakes, cold tires, got in a little deep, but didn't make a mistake, just swung a little bit wide.
Martin Raginger in the GoShare Chevrolet, the 50 to the inside of David Pintarek to pick up a position here. He is headed toward the front, up to fifth now. Pintarek in his Cadillac body, Crider Racing 57, trying to hang with the leaders here in Mid-Ohio. Vinny Allegretta third in the Sights and Sounds 41. Tommy Dreese up to fourth in the 8 car. From Tony Ave Motorsports, and Raginger now sitting fifth. Top two starting to pull away a little bit.
But it looks like Martin has a lot of speed. He's running down Tommy Dreese here. On this restart, if he can make quick work and get into that third spot, maybe he can close the gap. A great onboard shot. You see Tommy Dreese's eyes, the concentration and the focus it takes to take this TA fire-breathing dragon around Mid-Ohio. You can see it in his eyes.
David Pintarek in the 57, not running a full season this year, but thrilled to be here in Mid-Ohio and wanted to be fast, expects to be fast today. He's right in the hunt in that 57. Meantime, Raginger, who has stepped into the GoShare Chevrolet, newly rebodied, he is just flying here. If he can get by Dreese, he may have something for the top three.
He's got to run here, but Tommy Dreese's not going to make it easy on him. He's a veteran TA racer. He knows what to do. Defensive line. Looks like Martin's going to try it on the outside.
Looks like he makes the move, closes the deal. Able to get to the apex of the corner and pick up fourth position. One of the things we've heard about these Pirelli radials new this year at Trans Am, Pirelli now the presenting sponsor of the series, Michael, much like a bias ply tire, which the series ran on forever, you've got to be careful. You can run the tires off these cars if you use them up too much.
And this is one of those courses where I would see it be a tire management race. This is a long race. You have to manage the tires. Mid-Ohio in particular, you have to have good drive off the corners. You have these short straightaways. The drive off is very important.
TA3 meantime, the fall line Porsches. Here's Tim Kesman to the inside of Mark Bowden in the keyhole, and Kesman takes over.
Nice pass, out braking deep into the brake zones. Porsches brake so well, that's very late into the brakes.
Kesman is your leader now in TA3. Bowden right behind him in second spot with Randy Kell. Trouble for Stephen Davison. The Da Vinci plastic surgery Aston Martin off once more. Remember, he had that tire going down earlier, is able to get that car pointed in the right direction. The 07, Brian Kleeman continuing to lead in TA4 in his Mustang. Todd Napierowski 7 or 8 car lengths back. That's a pretty good battle for the lead in TA4.
Seems to be closing the gap there. Napierowski running Kleeman down.
Kleeman in that Mustang, picking up where Ernie Francis Jr. left off in TA4, the champion the past 3 seasons. We'll be back. Back in Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for second spot overall and in Trans Am, Martin Raginger giving Amy Ruman all she can handle here.
And you can tell he's got a lot of speed. He's mixing up his line. He's just trying to get in Amy's mirror. He's not really trying to make a pass here, just putting the pressure on her. Obviously, he's got a great fast car. Martin's going to be challenging Ernie Francis Jr., I think, before the end of this race.
Oh, trouble for the 15 meantime. Steve Kent of the BC Race Cars Corvette off course. Looks like he's got a little radiator issue. Some steam rising from the nose of that machine. Meantime, the fight for second raging here, coming onto the front stretch.
Martin did a great job there. Amy got wide. He set up that pass 2 corners before it even happened.
Raginger to the inside, and one makes it cleanly and takes over second spot. So Martin Raginger, from last on the grid in Trans Am, has risen to second here in the early laps.
Amy not giving up the fight, getting back in line there, trying to put the pressure back on Martin.
Now for Raginger, if he's going to have a chance at victory today, he might need a full course yellow.
Well, Ernie Francis Jr., he's so good at controlling these races. I'm not sure how hard he's pushing at this point, but when Martin gets bigger and bigger in his rearview mirror, we'll see what Ernie Francis Jr. has.
Raginger starting to pull away from Amy Ruman. Has to be a disappointing turn of events for Amy in the McNichols 23, the 2-time defending series champ. We talked to her earlier. You heard that a few moments ago, and they brought that car here to test. They haven't had an opportunity to test much this season, but they did get a test in here in Mid-Ohio. She said, you know, I think we've got some things figured out. I think we'll be good here. We can win here. Things not going her way in the early laps.
I really think, though, for Amy, this is a momentum shift for her. She's had speed this weekend, putting the pressure early on in the race. And honestly, if you look at the whole season for her, to get on the podium here in front of her hometown crowd, that's not a bad day.
Not at all. FirstEnergy, one of the major utility companies here in the state of Ohio. They're our event sponsor this weekend. We send Ashley out to find the FirstEnergy folks.
Hey Rick, I've managed to find my way over to the FirstEnergy Hospitality, where they've got customers and employees out with an excellent view of the racetrack to watch some Trans Am presented by Pirelli racing this weekend. Should be a good race between the TA, TA3, TA4, and TA2 races here.
And we welcome the FirstEnergy folks and their participation here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Watching a terrific FirstEnergy 100, TA4 still in the hands of Brian Kleeman in that 07, the Ford Mustang, the DWW entry. Mentioned a moment ago, he's kind of picked up in the Ford from where Ernie Francis left off. Ernie, the Dominator, won the championship in TA4 the last couple of years. Kleeman, strong out in front. Here's Simon Gregg, a past series champion. He's fallen to 8th in the Durhog Motorsports Chevrolet. Doesn't sound like that car's just at full pace today.
So fast early on in the race. It sounds like you might be having a little bit of a mechanical issue. Simon was very fast, battling for that 5th, 6th position. Obviously dropped back here a little bit.
Martin Raginger, meantime. And Vinny Allegretta now has gotten around Amy Ruman for 3rd. Raginger in 2nd spot, trying to chase down the leader. Allegretta bidding for a podium spot here today. Tommy Dreese drawing near Amy Ruman. If you were with us on our coverage a couple of seasons back, these two certainly had a moment here in Mid-Ohio. Everybody now says all's well, no issues at all. We'll see if Tommy is able to work his way by Ruman. He goes to the inside. Amy able to close the door down in the keyhole.
And you can see Amy, she's struggling with her Corvette there. You hear those front tires. She's got a lot of wheel in the car. Seems like she's fighting some understeer. She's lost a little bit of pace that we saw early on in the race.
Tommy Dreese sitting 5th in Tony Ave's 8th car, trying to find a way around Amy Ruman. Top 5 are fast here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, but everyone chasing Ernie Francis Jr. We'll be back with more of the FirstEnergy 100.
Trans Am on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Speedcom Communications. For 20 years, the world leader in motorsports radio and communications systems.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Lexington, Ohio. I'm Rick Benjamin, Michael McDowell alongside Ashley Van Dyke with our coverage on pit road. Martin Raginger in the 50 car. After having to start last, he didn't have any driver points, no qualifying because we had rain earlier in the weekend. He has climbed to 2nd. He is flying in that car. But Ernie Francis Jr. pretty much in a class by himself. A little further back, Tommy Dreese 5th, David Pintarek in the 57, the Kreider Racing Cadillac in 6th, and they are battling hard for that spot.
Tommy Dreese running the defensive line, going down into turn 4. Pintarek on the outside, hard to make that move. Let's see if he can make it stick.
Can't do it. Car gets a little sideways, almost onto the grass. Pintarek just saved it there.
Both drivers doing a great job, giving each other a little bit of room, a little bit of respect. That could have been ugly.
So Dreese pulls away now, hanging out of that top 5 spot behind Amy Ruman. On board with Pintarek. That car will be driven by Chris Dyson and Watkins Glen this fall. Vinny Allegretta with a little brake lock up there. 3rd in the Sights and Sounds 41. A little bit of struggle coming up the hill.
You can tell he's pushing hard, trying to get everything out of his car, locked up the tire as it got light there. It's great to see guys lay it all out on the line.
Amy Ruman, meantime, stuck here a little bit behind some slower TA3, TA4 traffic. J.R. Pesic in the 10, moving over to give Amy Ruman some running room down into one as she tries to hang on to fourth. Ashley on pit road with Amy's crew chief.
Dave Skinner hard at work for Amy Ruman in that 23 Corvette. You had some instances with Dreezy 2 years ago, and he's back out this weekend. He's coming up behind her. Any worries?
Not really. They're really watching him very carefully, and he's trying to turn over a new leaf. I know that. He's probably going to be okay. I don't have too many worries about him. So.
Amy Ruman at her home track here, but still looking to get that first Mid-Ohio win.
So Amy Ruman, Tommy Dreese, David Pintarik, 4th, 5th, and 6th in Trans Am in the FirstEnergy 100. Pintarik tried it again, coming through the corner there, the little kink on the backstretch.
Hard to make the pass right there. You have to set up these passes. Everybody's so good in this series. You're not going to just fire it in there, so you got to get in their mirrors. You got to get them making a mistake.
Jim McAleese in the 03, one of those new Camaro bodies that debuted this weekend from Kerry Hitt's Advanced Composites Corporation. The McAleese and Associates 03. Jim, the upset winner at Road America a couple of years back. Problems with that machine, trying to get the front bodywork off that car. We're hearing from pit road, they may have a brake cooling issue there. Not uncommon when you try a new bodywork combination.
Absolutely, got to work through those brake duct openings. You got to know how much air is going to get to those brakes. And this is a tough course on brakes. Road America, you have a long straightaways, a lot of time for things to cool off. You see here, there's not much of a straightaway anywhere, even the kink back there.
David Pintarik in the 57 has gone around. He was in that fight with Amy Ruman, Tommy Dreese for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Pintarik spinning over on the backside. Has to refire it on the racetrack, goes into the grass to get out of the way of the traffic.
He's doing the right thing here, making sure he enters that track safely. We saw a huge accident at Mid-Ohio last year.
Take another look at what happened. Oh, he put the left rear onto the dirt.
Got his tires just a little bit dirty there, got wide. Car spun around. Luckily, no contact with anybody else.
One more look here from Pintarik's onboard. Able to stop it, but he stalled it. That'll bring out a caution here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So that battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th will have to take a timeout. The double yellows indicating a full course yellow. This gives Dreese a chance, but more importantly, it gives Martin Reiginger a chance.
Martin's been so fast. Ernie Francis Jr. has been out front all by himself. We're going to get those guys bunched together, have a restart, and see who has the last a little bit.
So the safety car will be coming out on the racetrack here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. This will bunch the field as we are just past halfway. Ernie Francis has dominated, as he has much of the season, in the Bonaconte Fund Ford. We'll see if he can maintain that advantage now, because I'm not sure. Reiginger may be a little quicker. We'll find out when we come back at Mid-Ohio. Welcome back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. Ready for a restart of the FirstEnergy 100. Ernie Francis Jr. single file restart. Martin Reiginger right behind him as the green flag goes in the air.
Ernie Francis got on the gas early there, stretching out 1-2 car lengths. I've been waiting for this. Ernie Francis has been so dominant all year long, but Martin is a challenger. Let's see if he's got anything for him.
30 machine is a lapped car, top 3. The 98 of Francis, the 50 of Reiginger, the 41 of Vinny Allegretta, then the 23 of Amy Ruman, and the 8 of Tommy Dreese. Top 5, nose to tail. Simon Gregg right there now in 6th as well after the restart. And you can see the top 2 just pulling away, but Reiginger is right there with Ernie Francis.
Ernie Francis runs a little bit of a defensive line there, not going to give it to him easy.
Interesting note on the 98 car. The engine from that car needed some work done on it. It was up at K-Tech in Michigan just a couple of days ago. They put the engine in this weekend. It has been flawless so far. On board again with Tommy Dreese. You get a look at his eyes and his hands in that 8 car as he runs behind Amy Ruman. You talked earlier, Michael McDowell, about too much steering wheel, and Amy Ruman was having that problem. You're talking about the amount you have to turn the wheel?
Well, I was watching the front tires and watching her go through the slow speed corners like the carousel coming up. You could see the wheel angle. She had a lot of steering wheel actually turning those front tires, and right there you can hear them squeal and her still get wide. I think she's just fighting some balance issues. Amy
off the final corner. Oh, in trouble. The 4 car of Tim Kesman. The fall line Porsche hits the soft wall. He gets right back on the gas and right back onto the racetrack.
Racing hard with Mark Bowden. Not sure if there was contact there.
Oh, he got into the dirt. That upsets the balance and your line.
Well, you're wide there. He got in the grass. That's right when you're hard on the brakes. Obviously, the car's not going to stop well when you're in the grass. Too much speed and send him off the racetrack.
That's the TA3 fight for the lead. In TA4, meantime, Brian Kleeman and Todd Napierowski running 1-2. One of the other fall line Porsches moving by at TA3. And here's Raginger putting a lot of pressure on Ernie Francis for the lead.
This is fun to watch. Ernie Francis Jr. late in the race has a challenger. Can he hold him off? Martin's his first race in TA. He's doing a great job. He's giving that Camaro a ride.
Martin Raginger with a great resume at international sports car racing, longtime factory Porsche driver. Claudio Burton deciding to step out of the GoShare Chevrolet and put in Raginger. Here's Ashley.
Claudio Burton fielding Martin Raginger in that number 50 Camaro, making the debut here this weekend. You're behind Ernie Francis Jr. What's Martin saying, and do you guys have anything for that Mustang?
Well, unfortunately, because we started so far back, and he's really had to use a lot of brakes and kind of burn the car down a little bit getting to where he's at. He said the pedal's been on the floor a couple times, so he's trying to pump it and get it back, so we'll see what happens.
Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Michael McDowell, not a place you'd want to run many laps without good brakes.
Pumping the brake as a driver is not comforting. Martin's doing a great job. Hopefully he can hold on.
Raginger in second, giving up ground now to Ernie Francis Jr. Next week here on CBS Sports Network, coverage of the TA2 event at Mid-Ohio, the FirstEnergy Muscle Car Challenge. Our preview presented by AEM Infiniti. Great field of TA2 challengers. Everyone will chase points leader Gar Robinson, and we'll see how that one plays out next week here on CBS Sports Network. Right now, the Trans Am battle for position up front and a little further back in TA3. You've got the Porsches fighting it out. Tim Kesman and Connor Flynn here in the 95 fighting for second. Behind race leader Mark Bowden. Kesman had that mistake, got into the tire barrier a few laps ago. As we watch the fight for TA3 honors here today. Connor Flynn in the Irish Mike's Porsche 997. Very fast race car, capable driver, good race team. The Irish Mike's bunch and the Fall Line guys have quite a fight going on in TA3 this season.
And you see Kinsman pull out in the brake zone, deep in the brakes, was able to make that pass, caught him by surprise.
Kesman in that Lemons of Love Porsche taking back second spot.
This battle's not over. They're mixing it up.
Flynn to the inside. He's got the preferred line here. Flynn takes it back. And Kesman will swing to the inside. Outbreaks him into the right-hander. Swapping second spot back and forth.
What a great battle. I've never seen somebody pass twice on one straightaway. What a great, fierce battle.
Of course, if you're Mark Bowden with the lead in TA3, you're thinking, hey, this is great. Anytime my competitors get fighting amongst themselves, I'm in trouble. Amy Ruman is off course. That's headed toward the keyhole. Tommy Dreese off as well. Perhaps a tangle between these two old antagonists. Dreese trying to get refired to get back on the surface. Amy does. Looks like she's got some bodywork damage up front. Blows the grass off that car.
And this is not what Amy Ruman wanted. Obviously,
she goes right back off the course.
Whoa.
Must have a problem there.
You can see that right front tire, that wheel suspension moving. Not just bodywork damage, something's broken that right front suspension.
Let's take another look here as they exit turn one. Oh, it's some contact indeed. The slower Aston Martin. Amy kind of the meat of the sandwich there.
It looked like three cars just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Amy came up on the slower traffic. Tommy Dreese was already to her inside. Not a lot of room there. There was contact made. Big impact for all those drivers there.
Stephen Davison in the Aston Martin coming off of turn one. Looked like Amy and Dreese just got to him too quickly there, and there just wasn't enough room for all three.
Well, Amy and Tommy were battling hard, so obviously both pushing it to the maximum. Came up on the slower traffic, the timing was off, and they all made contact.
So both the 23 of Ruman and the 8 of Dreese end up in the grass, and Ernie Francis Jr. will capitalize and continue to build his lead in the Bonacani Fun Ford. Caution here in Mid-Ohio, full course yellow for the 23, the 8, and the 2 in TA4. Tough break indeed for Amy Ruman, who came into her home racetrack this weekend with such high hopes, wanting to get the second half of her title defense season underway in fine fashion, hopefully scoring a win here in Mid-Ohio. It won't happen today. Mark Bowden in the Fall Line 46 car, the Tropical Passage Porsche, he's your leader in TA3. There's Davison in that Aston Martin. He's had a couple of incidents today, but the car seems to have survived that contact quite well. Ernie Francis Jr. continues to lead in the 98 car, bidding for another Trans Am win. Martin Raginger will restart right behind him, but with that brake issue, he just does not seem to have enough to challenge Ernie today here in Mid-Ohio in the FirstEnergy 100. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Back in Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Lexington, Ohio, the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. FirstEnergy 100 for Trans Am, TA3, TA4. Everyone this season running on these new Pirelli radial tires. A lot of changes for the race teams. Ashley Van Dyke, before we started today, with some information for you on how teams take a look at the wear of these tires.
This is the Pirelli Tire Service Center in the paddock. We're taking a look at a TA2 tire. This is the wear indicators. Now, Pirelli offers this on all their sets of tires so that teams and drivers can know how much wear they're getting off of their use. They also have it going across the tire so you can tell what kind of contact patch and wear you're really getting out there in your sessions. If you take a look here, here's a used tire. You can see the wear indicator is deeper and it gets more shallow here, showing how much the tire's actually been used. Now, this tire might have a few more laps left on it. Great stuff here for our engineers and Trans Am to be able to work with Pirelli.
Pirelli's tire indicators there really helps the teams at a quick glance be able to tell their cambers and their tire wear.
Just one of the innovations that Pirelli has brought to Trans Am, America's Road Racing Series, here in 2017. Green back in the air. Ernie Francis in that blue Ford, the 98, in front of the Gaucher Chevrolet, the 50 car. Martin Raginger at the helm. Raginger putting a lot of pressure on Ernie to the keyhole.
That caution allowed his brakes to cool. Now is the time to push.
Meantime, Ashley's caught up with Amy Ruman.
Made it almost to the end of this race. Amy, what happened out there?
Well, we do have multi-class racing, and people don't move over for the leaders come through. You get tangled up. It's happened to me I don't know how many times this season now. You know, it's just very frustrating trying to hold people at bay. You know, Dreese and I finally had a good race going for once. And, you know, get caught up, and I tried to stay left of them, and Dreese wanted to go inside too, so I'm in the middle, but then the guy come over and he saw the rest. It's very disappointing, especially here. I can't catch a break here. It's like the worst track ever for me. So unfortunately, the McNichols 23 was running good. This guy's got out on me a little bit midway, but after the yellow, I thought we had a little bit of a car for him. At least me and Dreese had a good run, so next time.
Thanks, Amy.
A frustrated Amy Ruman will not see the checkers today here at her home racetrack. Meantime, field coming to the white flag. The lap traffic has allowed Tim Kesman to catch back up to his teammate Mark Bowden. Meantime, a lap car, the 94 of Ramin Abdul-Vahabi, is in front of these two.
And it's going to play into this race, holding them up coming off of turn one. That's going to allow Kesman to get a run here. Not sure if he's got the move to do it. He's protecting. Oh, late move. Up over the grass and curb.
Can Bowden do the over-under? Side by side for honors in TA3. Kesman goes plowing up the turf. Second time he's been off here today.
Laying it all on the line. Kind of a dive bomb move going into turn two there. Doesn't make it stick.
He is not able to recover from that. Up front, meantime, in the final lap here at Mid-Ohio. Ernie Francis Jr. in the 98 car. Martin Raginger in the Gaucher Chevrolet, the 50. Final couple of corners at Mid-Ohio. Raginger will not have enough, and Ernie Francis Jr. will win his 5th Trans Am event of 2017 and add to his points lead. Vinny Allegretta will come home 3rd. Brian Kleeman will win in TA4 at his Ford Mustang, behind Mark Bowden in the fall line Porsche, the 46. Bowden will take home honors in TA3 today. Michael McDowell, a very entertaining afternoon in all three of these classes.
A battle till the end, side-by-side racing for the individual class winners. Overall winner, Ernie Francis Jr. does it again.
Martin Reiginger put on a great drive from the back of the grid to get up into contention with Ernie, but Ernie Francis Jr. not to be denied here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We'll be back to meet the winner.
The FirstEnergy Trans Am 100 on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by FirstEnergy, the official energy of Trans Am racing at Mid-Ohio. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by Pirelli, power is nothing without control.
Back at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the fans thoroughly entertained today by the FirstEnergy 100 for Trans Am. In victory lane, Ashley is with Ernie Francis.
Ernie Francis Jr. hopping out the victor here at Mid-Ohio. Congratulations from Vinny there. Ernie, tell us about your race. You had that Camaro coming at you there at the end, and you were able to hold him off.
Yeah, it was a tough race for us. We knew they had the power on us, so we were just trying to run a consistent race, really just trying to maximize on the points that we could. And yeah, we came away with a win. The car was driving awesome. JRI did an awesome job with the suspension. K-Tech did an awesome job getting this motor rebuilt in time for this race. MCO with the transmission, everything was just perfect with the car. So can't thank everybody enough.
Ernie Francis Jr. doing what he does best, putting his car in victory lane, but Martin gave him a fight for his money.
Reiginger from last to second. Vinny Allegretta takes home third ahead of Simon Gregg and Tommy Dreese. John Bauckham gets credit for sixth. Amy Ruman has to settle for 11th in front of David Pintar. Ashley has caught up with our runner-up.
Martin Reiginger making his class debut here in TA. You started at the back and you got up to second place. Congratulations. Tell us how you did it.
Thank you, and yeah, thanks to my whole team and Burton Racing, and also to our sponsor GoShare. And it was a tough race. I think our new body made it a bit difficult today because I had no race experience. Also, the team had no race experience, and I had one big issue, and that was braking. After 3 laps, when the brakes got hot, I just had no pedal anymore, and yeah, I tried after the last caution to get him. But yeah, it was just, without driving a race car with no brakes is very difficult.
Rumor has it that this gentleman, Martin Reiginger, will be joining us at Road America.
It'll be fun to see Reiginger back in that 50 car for sure at the 4-mile Road America course. Your results in TA3, Mark Bowden over Tim Kesman. Connor Flynn finishes third. The championship now Bowden adding to his advantage. 28 over Kesman, 29 over Randy Kinsland. Ashley has caught up with our winner in TA3.
Mark Bowden, 1 and 2 for Fall Line here today. You came out on top. Tell us about your race.
Well, it was a real good race. Tim was putting a lot of pressure on me. He finally got by. We battled a bit after the first full course caution, and he got a little too far inside going into the carousel and ended up spinning and putting him off. But came back after the second full course caution and put a real charge in. It was pretty exciting at the keyhole. I'm looking for him on my left, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, he's on my right. I'm going, that's probably not going to work. So gave me the ability to get back around him. But great race. Love this place. Just a wonderful track. Thanks to Trans Am and Pirelli Tire, and of course all the guys at Fall Line. The Porsche was great right out of the box. The competition seemed to have a hard time. They didn't seem quite as prepared as we were when we unloaded, but the cars were awesome.
Mark Bowden was right. They put on a show. The teammates racing hard, side by side on the last lap. It doesn't get any better than that.
Brian Kleeman and Ty Napierowski raced hard in TA4, but Kleeman had the upper hand much of the day. Napierowski has to settle for second in front of J.R. Piesick, and we've caught up again with our winner in TA4.
Brian Kleeman, your TA4 winner, coming out on top today. Tell us how your race went.
Well, we had a lot of help from the yellow flags, that's for sure, and but definitely got to hand it to the crew because, you know, we lost a motor in testing, and they did a complete motor change, and we lost all our track time. So we had to, you know, we really had to get out there and go, and we had, you know, Todd pushing us. So it was a real race, but it was a lot of fun. So we came out on top, though.
Came out on top, controlled the race all day long, led every lap.
Great battling throughout the field here in the FirstEnergy 100 at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. For Michael McDowell, Ashley Van Dyke, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating your winners, Ernie Francis Jr., Brian Kleeman, and Mark Bowden. We'll see you next time.